So I mentioned that my daughter was born right when we moved to our house, our first house. And I have to tell you a little bit about this house. It was a project house. So we bought the house for its potential, not for what it was. And part of that was our income. We had just, we had student loans from bachelor's program in the States and a master's program in Sweden. And then we had a substitute teaching job that supported our family of then 4. And so we're kind of slowly getting ourselves back on our feet. We bought our first car, in Sweden, our first car in Sweden. And now we've bought a home. And my daughter is born. And this home is a project house. So when we first got the home, after we signed the papers and got the keys, we get in there and I'm immediately pulling stuff off the walls, and because there was some water damage in some place and we need to find out the extent of it. And so I'm like, all right, just throw myself into it. But then we had some problems that jump-started the contractions of my daughter, and she came earlier than we expected. She wasn't incredibly early, but the earliest of any of my kids, so barely right around term. But my other kids hadn't been that early, and so that's why we had thought we'd go to my sister-in-law's wedding. But I didn't make that. My husband didn't make that because we were at the hospital giving birth. That, right before, the day before, on our way traveling. And the things that happened was we ended up getting a flat tire. And it was rainy weather and the roads weren't like where we pulled off the side of the road with the flat tire. There was no support. And so as we're trying to jack up the tire and change it, the jack actually slid and the whole van fell down on its axle without the tire there. And so then we're like, So all of this was going on and I'm starting to have contractions for labor. And it was a little bit scary, but I'm like, I'm okay. I'm not going to have the baby. I always have early contractions. I mean, I've been having Braxton Hicks forever. So it's not that. But it was. And it was an interesting time. It was a very interesting time.